1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister has warned that carnage of Muslims and state-sponsored terror through RSS gangs in New Delhi will have grave consequences. The United States and the Taliban are set to sign a peace deal in Doha this evening, ending their long conflict in Afghanistan. The Foreign Minister says peace agreement between the United States and the Afghan Taliban will help bring peace and stability to the region. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian troops have intensified cordon and search operations to harass and intimidate the people. The United Nations has urged the international community to step up support for Turkey in hosting Syrian refugees. In the 12th match of the Pakistan Super League at Bulletin today, Multan Sultans beat Quetta Gladiators by 30 runs. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has again warned that carnage of Muslims and state-sponsored terror through police and Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh gangs in New Delhi will have grave consequences. In a tweet today, he said the Modi government's supremacist policies are going to lead to radicalization of 200 million Indian Muslims. Imran Khan said the Kashmiri youths have also been radicalized through the oppression of Indian occupation forces and deaths of almost 100,000 Kashmiris. He said he has been predicting that unless the international community intervenes, these developments will have disastrous consequences not only for the region but eventually for the entire world also. The American Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation Ambassador Zalmay Khalilzad called on the Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi in Doha today. During the meeting, the Foreign Minister said Pakistan hopes for an intra-Afghan dialogue after the US-Taliban peace deal. He said Afghanistan will need the support of the international community for its reconstruction and rehabilitation. The Foreign Minister said Pakistan will continue its efforts for durable peace and stability in Afghanistan. Talking to his Turkish counterpart Mevlut Cavusoglu in Doha, the Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi said peace agreement between the United States and the Afghan Taliban will help bring peace and stability to the region. He also extended condolences over the deaths of Turkish soldiers in Syria. The Foreign Minister also expressed gratitude for the continued and unflinching Turkish support to Pakistan on the Kashmir issue. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says trade relations with the Central Asian republics are vital for development of Pakistan. He was talking to his Tajik counterpart Sirajuddin Mahardin, who called on him in Doha today. The Foreign Minister said Pakistan believes in the development of the region and wants to enhance trade relations with the Central Asian republics. He said Pakistan attaches great importance to its relations with Tajikistan. Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi also called on the Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi in Doha. He appreciated Pakistan's role in facilitating the Afghan peace process. During the meeting, matters pertaining to the Afghan peace process, continuing violence against the Muslims in India, and the overall peace and security situation of the region came under discussion. Norwegian Foreign Minister Ine Marie Eriksen Søreide also called on Shah Mahmood Qureshi in Doha today. During the meeting, they agreed to further strengthen bilateral ties in all areas of mutual interest. The two foreign ministers appreciated the positive developments in their relations. Shah Mahmood Qureshi apprised her Norwegian counterpart of the unilateral steps taken by India to change the controversial status of occupied Kashmir. Ine Marie Eriksen Søreide appreciated the role of Pakistan in the Afghan peace process. The United States and the Taliban are set to sign a peace deal in Doha today, ending their conflict and drawing down the number of American troops in Afghanistan. The agreement being signed by the U.S. Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad and representatives of the Taliban is aimed at initial withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan and eventually all troops if the conditions are met, which could take well over a year. And now we take you live to what the American Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is saying
Exercise
during
patience,
this ceremony.
even when there is frustration. honor the rich diversity of your country, and make room for all views. Afghan governments have failed because they weren't sufficiently inclusive. The Afghan government of 2020, and indeed the Afghanistan of 2020, is not the same as in 2001. Embrace the historic progress obtained for women and girls, and build on it for the benefit of all Afghans. The future of Afghanistan ought to draw on the God-given potential of every single person. If you take these steps, if you stay the course and remain committed to negotiations with the Afghan government and other Afghan partners, we and the rest of the international community assembled here today stand ready to reciprocate.
The Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, in a media briefing in Kabul, has welcomed the signing of the peace agreement that will lead to enduring peace in his country. He said, "We value the cooperation of Pakistan and other brother Islamic countries in bringing peace and stability in Afghanistan." He said,
"We, the people in the government of Afghanistan, our international partners, are in full agreement and alignment on the need for seeking a political solution to the conflict with the Taliban. We have the political will and the capacity to make peace because of the resilience of our society, the dynamism of our economy, and the capability of our state."
This is Radio Pakistan. In occupied Kashmir, amid continued military lockdown, the Indian troops intensified cordon and search operations across the country to harass and intimidate the people. According to Kashmir Media Service, the troops arrested several youths during the operations in Srinagar, Badgam, Islamabad, Anantnag, Pulwama, Baramulla, Kupwara, Kishtwar, Doda, Bhadarwa, Rajouri and other areas. The main objective behind these operations is to create a sense of fear among the people to stop them from staging demonstrations against the Indian atrocities in the territory. The Jammu and Kashmir Muslim League, Islamic Political Party, Jammu and Kashmir Young Men's League and other Hurriyat organizations in the statements strongly denounced the continued military operations by the Indian troops across the occupied territory. In Bangladesh, thousands of people marched on the streets of the country's capital, Dhaka, protesting against anti-Muslim violence in the Indian capital, New Delhi. The protesters called on the government to cancel the invitation to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is scheduled to visit Dhaka on the 17th of next month. The United Nations has urged the international community to step up support for Turkey in managing and hosting Syrian refugees. At a news briefing in Geneva, a spokesman for the United Nations Refugees Agency, Babar Baloch, said, "We have been appealing to the neighboring countries, including Turkey, to broaden admission for people who are on the run inside Syria." In Iran, the death toll from coronavirus has risen to 43, the highest number outside China. Health officials said 9 people died during the last 24 hours, and the total number of people infected with virus has also reached 593. The Iranian government has ordered the shutting of schools until Tuesday and extended the closure of universities and a ban on concerts and sport events for a week. In Syria, 48 soldiers of the regime forces have been killed in Turkish airstrikes in Idlib province. According to the Syrian Observatory, Syrian government warplanes also continued airstrikes on the positions of rebel forces in Idlib today. And now cricket in the 12th match of the Pakistan Super League 2020 at Multan Cricket Stadium today. Multan Sultans beat Quetta Gladiators by 30 runs. Batting first, Multan Sultan scored 199 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. Riley Russo of Multan Sultan scored unbeaten 100 runs, while skipper Shan Masood scored 46 runs. In reply, the Quetta Gladiators scored 169 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in 20 overs. In the second match, Peshawar Zalmi will take on Islamabad United at Rawalpindi this evening. And finally, the weather. Rain, wind, thunderstorm with snowfall over the hills is expected in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Islamabad, Upper Punjab, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan during the next 24 hours. Hailstorm is also expected at a few places during the period. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.